How completed 12 devotees bite the dust. After the climb of Jesus Christ, his followers, brimming with the essence of God, carried on crafted by the ruler Jesus. What's more, went to the spot and vouched for Jesus Christ. The pupils valiantly taught the demise and revival of Jesus. The supporters started the appearance of a better approach for living, and as instructed, they conveyed the gospel to unimaginable lengths. Yet do you have any idea how the world treated his devotees who took his gospel to the side of the world after the climb of Jesus Christ? How could he face demise? The Holy Book records the names of 12 devotees of Jesus Christ in Matthew 10:123-4, imprint 3:16-19 and Luke 6:13-16. In the new confirmation, just 2 of Jesus' 12 followers have been expounded on the demise of the devotees. One is Judas Iscariot, Matthew 27:3-10, who washed Jesus, and the other, Jacob's child Jacob, Acts 12:2. In any case, how different followers passed on isn't kept in the good book. Quite a bit of what we are familiar the passings of different pupils is gotten from the acts of old Christian essayists and calists, which can't be affirmed. However, one thing is certain, that every one of the pupils languished significantly over their declaration, and much of the time there were ruthless passings. Simon, otherwise called Peter. Jesus was one of the most noticeable followers of Christ, and one of the spearheading messengers of the early Christian calists. Catholic practice claims he was the principal pope. Peter kicked the bucket in 64 promotion during the rule of the sovereign of Nero. There was a furious fire in Rome during the rule of Nero. Furthermore, Nero put the saviors on the fire. Nero began the migration of Christ individuals. During a similar time Peter was killed topsy-turvy. This was guaranteed in a moment-century fanciful book called Crafted by the Witnesses of Peter. Peter was held tight the cross by sovereign Nero with his head down and feet up at the command of him. Since Peter said, "How my master was held tight the cross, I'm not commendable, so let me hang topsy-turvy." 2. Andreas was Peter's sibling, who originally turned into the devotees of Jesus Christ. As per the spurious book of Acts, Andreas was killed by a cross in the Greek city of Patras in around 60 BC. He was likewise stoned where he kicked the bucket 2 days after the fact. Like his sibling Peter, Andreas didn't see himself as qualified to pass on like Jesus, thus he was attached to a cross that was hung in X shape rather than T shape. Andreas is said to have taught from the cross until his demise. 3. John. Jehovah, sibling of Jacob, the child of Jabi, was the dearest devotee of Jesus Christ. Yonah, an angler by calling, was likewise the most youthful of the multitude of followers of Jesus Christ. In the 2nd and 3rd hundreds of years, Tertullian, a Christian essayist, guaranteed that Christ's rivals put in bubbling oil weaving to kill Jehovah, yet nothing happened to him and he made do. Seeing this shock, every one individuals there switched over completely to Christ's religion. The congregation is assembled today at this spot. Afterward, during the Domitian's abuse during the 90s, Johanna was condemned to dark water on the Watamus Island. Jebunna composed the disclosure on this spouse island. He was liberated in the wake of being condemned to dark water from the island of Wightam. Subsequent to being liberated from discipline, Jehovah then, at that point, got back to support and carried on the help of the Master. Experience every one of the times of your age. Furthermore, he passed on a characteristic demise as an elderly person. Jehovah is the main missionary who kicked the bucket calmly. 4. Jacob. We read about the passing of Jacob, the child of Jabi, in the book of Acts, written in Acts 12:1-2. Simultaneously Lord Herod turned into a Dehaney by the gathering to oppress certain individuals in the congregation. Also, destroyed Johan's sibling Jacob by the blade. Ruler Herod needed to satisfy the Jews by killing him. Acts 12. 3 researchers accept he was killed in Jerusalem in 44 promotion. 5. Philip. After Jesus' rising, Philip moved to Russia, where he lobbied for a very long time. He later went to Phrygia, where the people who went against the gospel attached Philip to the cross in promotion 80, and he was likewise stoned to kick the bucket. You will scarcely believe, Andreas was the principal pupil of the Master, while Philip had the honor of turning into the second devotee of Jesus Christ. 6. Bharatulama. It is accepted that Bharatulama additionally battled in India. He additionally interpreted the Matthew-made Gospel into the Jewish language, which he brought to India, as per a conviction, by the order of the Barbas ruler, in Armenia. In promotion 71, Bharatulama was endlessly executed with a living skin and passed on there. 7. Thoma. After the restoration of Jesus Christ, until I see the characteristics of the falls in his grasp and don't place my fingers in them and put my hand in his desolate, I will have a hard time believing it up to that point. Saying Thoma additionally proceeded to carry on Jesus' work after Jesus' rising. It is said that Thoma battled first in the Center East, then, at that point, he came to India. Here he laid out the 7 gathering in promotion 50, Panhua, and teaching a ton. Thoma battled wildly in India. Tired of Thoma's exposure, certain individuals hit him with a lance. Crafted by the fanciful missionaries and furthermore the Syrian messianic custom, this missionary was martyred in Milapur, India, where he was cut with a lance. There is a huge church on Thoma's body was covered today. 8. Masal Taker. Chunji Taker Mati crusaded a great deal in numerous nations and affirmed about Jesus and his revival. As indicated by Lenient of Alexandria, Mati lobbied for quite a long time. It is accepted that during the promulgation in promotion 60, Matthew was killed with a blade in Ethiopia. 9. Jacob was the child of Helaphai and sibling of the missionary Matthew. Very little is depicted in the Holy Book about Jacob. It is said to describe him that Alvinus, who was threatening to Jacob, plotted against it. Alvinus welcomed Jacob to teach on the molding of Jerusalem, so everybody could tune in. At the point when Jacob began teaching, individuals tossed him down from the cangier, yet he didn't kick the bucket. Then, at that point, individuals tossed stones and killed him. Hippolytus, a scholar living in the 2nd and 3rd hundreds of years, records the passing of Jacob, the child of Hepha, when the Jews were executed in Jerusalem teaching, and covered there close to the sanctuary. 10. Tadai. Tadai is otherwise called Judah. Luke names Tadai Jacob's child Judah, Luke 6:16 and Acts 1:13, and John makes reference to Tadai, Jehoda, not Iscariot, John 14:22. Tadai's name accompanies Simon in the Gospel. It is accepted that these two were old buddies. Tad was martyred in the city of Armenia teaching in promotion 50 and was killed by Antiro in the city of Ararat. 11. Simon Canaanite. Simon Canaanite went to the spot and vouched for Jesus Christ. He likewise went to England and did marvels at all spots and experienced numerous things. It additionally went to Mesopotamia. There are various articles of Simon Canaanite's passing. The brilliant legend and the Egyptian Coptic Church accept that they were killed by holding tight the cross during the proclaiming in Pharsia. In the 5th 100 years, Moses of Corinth recorded that Simon Kanani was martyred in the territory of Iberia. Additionally, Ethiopian Christians guarantee that they were killed in Samaria. Also, in the 16th 100 years, Justus Lipsius recorded that he had been sliced down the middle. 12. Matta. This is the pupil who was supplanted by Judas Iscariot, Acts 1:12-26. As per one practice, he was stoned by savages in Ethiopia, Georgia. There is another training. He was stoned by the Jews in Jerusalem and afterward beheaded.